Welcome to Best Buds Gardening. I'm Julie. Today, let's talk about how to have an endless supply of basil. We're going to start off with some basil seeds. And basil seeds are very, very small, almost like dust. I'm going to put them on a paper towel to germinate. I'm going to spray my paper towel so that it's damp, sort of like a wrung out sponge would feel. And make sure all your basil seeds are making good contact with the damp paper towel. Then we're going to put it inside a plastic bag so that it doesn't dry out. I'm going to label this and I'm going to put it in a warm spot for a few days so that the seeds will germinate. 3 days later, we have several seeds that have germinated. So we're going to go ahead and get these planted. I'm going to pre-moisten my soil. Basil seeds are tiny. I don't want them floating all over the place. I'm going to make a little hole with my garden Sharpie. And this guy has popped right out of the seed coating. He's already a plant. So I'm going to plant him accordingly with his little head stuck out of the soil. And the other two are still in their seed coating, so I'll put them in the hole and I will cover them up with just about 1/4 of an inch of soil. Exactly 1 week later, this is what our basil seedlings look like. Here they are in another 3 days, another week, and another week. After another 3 weeks, we have some nice, beautiful leaves on our basil plant. Now this down here, this is not a leaf. Don't confuse that with the actual leaves. So now we're ready to take cuttings, and we want to leave the first 2 leaves on the bottom of the plant still there so that the plant doesn't die. Right there, leaf number 1, leaf number 2. So we're going to cut this right above those first 2 leaves. We've now topped our basil plant. That's how you harvest basil, by the way, but we want to make more plants. So I'm going to do the same thing on this guy. I'm going to come down to the first set of true leaves, cut him off. And on plant number 3, the same thing. Set that out of the way. I'm going to take off these bottom leaves. I'm actually going to eat those later. You just want the top portion of the basil plant. New little shoots coming out right there. And this little guy is going to be kind of short, but it's okay. We can make him work. And then we're just going to take our little plants and we're going to stick them in some water, and these will grow roots. Now these little stems will curl up out of the water, so keep an eye on that. This is our pot of original basil plants, and see the new growth that has taken off on either side of the stem that we cut? It's really an amazing process. Little tiny baby plants starting to come out. Basil just keeps making more of itself. And these little guys are the ones we cut off and we rooted. They've already got roots. It's only been 8 days and they're ready to pot up. So in 8 days, you have a whole new basil plant just by taking a cutting and rooting it in water versus 2 months from planting a seed. So this is a really great way to keep making more basil plants. It happens so fast. Every week you have a brand new basil plant almost. Pot that little guy up. I'll keep potting these up. After 1 more week, look, our basil has made new plants. These are our originals, and already those little side branches, you could go ahead and cut them off and root them. And if you can see, in between the 2 branches, more little shoots are starting to come out. So if you want to, you can go ahead and snip this off. Try to do it with my nail. And you can pick off the bottom of those branches, stick this guy in some water, root him, or if you already have enough basil plants, you can just eat them. And then 2 more new growths are coming out in between all of those branches. Now this is one of our little baby plants. Again, it's only been another week. And look, he's already, if you want to take a cutting right there of him, he's ready. And 2 new plants are coming out of the branches there. So before you know it, if you keep propagating basil, you'll have more than you could ever imagine. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe.